Right now, I want to bring out the reason that we're all here. We've got the artwork, we've got great food, great music, but the only reason that I'm really doing all this effort is for somebody that I totally believe in. She stands for integrity, for such a high moral standard that I felt like I had to do something to get the ball rolling for this congressional campaign that we're just about to venture into. And the reason that I'm working so hard for Annie Loyd for Congress is because she's so willing to stand up and create the change that I know I desperately want, and I know the rest of you are probably interested into some change. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce my dear friend, Annie Loyd.
Good evening, everybody. You know, I said to Stefan, it's a lot easier to get money out of people when they're half drunk, so, you know, we'll hope that. I want to thank you all for being here so very much and taking your time on a Sunday evening to come, allow us to entertain you with music, allow us to inspire you with beautiful artwork, and hopefully the message that you hear from me tonight resonates with your heart. In February of this year, my friends sat me down and said, after 20 years of working in politics and working to get so many candidates elected, we think that you should run for office. And I looked at them and I said, have you looked in the rearview mirror of my life? I'm not somebody that ever planned to run for politics. They said, but you have the conviction, you have the desire to bring people together, and we've watched you build bridges in our community, throughout our state, and throughout our country like nobody else ever has. And the best that I can tell you is somewhere down deep in my gut, it made sense. And from that moment forward, I knew that I could not do anything different. You can call it a calling, you can call it whatever you want. But I assure you that nobody will work harder to get elected to Congress in November of 2008. We are all very aware of the convergence of crisis that we have in every sector of our society. From issues with education and energy, the environment, healthcare, immigration, economics, business, security, our governance, our laws. It could be looked upon as a very scary time. Last night I watched a movie called Amazing Grace that's new and it's just out. And if you haven't seen it, I'd encourage you to do so. It's about the history of the song Amazing Grace. It's about the movement of the abolitionists. I believe we are those people today. I believe that all of us that are gathered here today are those women and men that fought for the women's rights to vote, that were the civil rights leaders, that have believed in the bottom of our soul that our connections are deeper than our differences. Our connections are deeper than our differences. It's been a long time, though, since anybody reminded us of that. It's been 40 years for most of us. I was 3 years old 40 years ago when those dreams died. When John F. Kennedy and Robert, Malcolm and Martin were assassinated. And our worlds changed. Whether we agreed with them or not, we knew that the world was changing at that point in time. And they weren't all Democrats. Martin Luther King was a Republican. People forget that. But they were human beings that were committed to making our world a better place together. They didn't always agree. I don't believe that all of us in this room are going to agree on everything. What I'm asking you to do is to find the common ground, to find the common goals that we can believe in. That is our task today. Our task today as Americans is to revive the can-do spirit. That can-do spirit produced the flyer at Kitty Hawk of the Wright brothers. That can-do spirit produced the polio vaccine of Jonas Salk. That can-do spirit created the right for women to vote that when my mother was born, she did not have. That can-do spirit has created opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for all of us. And it is not about us pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps and forgetting everybody else around us. That can-do spirit is acknowledging that if you want your life fulfilled, if I want my life fulfilled, I have a responsibility to work with you and you and you and you and all of you in helping you to fulfill your dreams. Our children today are burdened with a debt of $9 trillion and moving up quickly every day. We have a situation over in Iraq. Regardless of how we got there, it's expensive right now and costing us vital resources here at home. It's taking away from our children's education. It's taking away from healthcare opportunities. It's taking away from our opportunity to invest in the research and development that is necessary to create renewable energy sources and resources.